Everybody, it's Chad with Nobody Else's Auto. 7 o'clock Central Time, Sunday evening, time for Sunday night live chat. As always, we are live on two formats, both Facebook and YouTube. As you see me glancing back and forth, I'm just trying to keep up with both monitors and comments on formats. So, Daniel's on with us already tonight. Glad you made it. Got a few people on YouTube with us as well. We'll give everybody a few seconds to get their notifications and get on with us. Looks like Facebook is up. We'll see if it's going to hang in there with us tonight and cooperate, which it usually doesn't. So we'll see how that goes. A lot of cool things to talk about tonight. A lot of cool things happening out there. So we'll get rolling here shortly into some of that and see how the night goes. Now, one thing to start with, my throat is a little scratchy tonight. Lee from New York's on. Glad you're here. Mark's on Facebook. Chris made it. Bill made it. Michael's here. Lots of you jumping on YouTube already. Glad you're here. Some of us on Facebook too. Joe's here with us on Facebook. Kevin from H-Town on YouTube just got on. Like I was saying, I do have a little bit of a scratchy throat tonight. If we get through open chat and the badges and emblems and my voice is going, we may skip the magazine and do it next week. So we'll see how things go. Norma's on. Old School made it. Robert's on. Joe's here. So got some guys jumping on Facebook as well. Hopefully it hangs in there. Scott's on Facebook. Chris, Martin Designs, Loch Ness Fox, William Alderman, a bunch of you getting on right out of the gate here. That's always great to see. So yeah, we'll see how my voice does. We'll see if it hangs in there. If not, like I said, we'll just skip the magazine, put it off to next week, and go with it then. But I didn't want to skip tonight and leave everybody hanging either. So Kenny's here, Jim's here. So Daniel again. Kim made it. Glad you and BW are here with us. Classic Ride Society from Fort Worth checking in as well. Lots of familiar faces on, as always, which makes it great. So, no, I don't think it's COVID. It's just I've had a scratchy throat and kind of been sore. But we had chicken fries at my mom's today for lunch, and I definitely could taste those. So, I'm okay there, I think. So, Marn said his alert came in on time. That's great. So, Loch Ness, hit the like button. Bill says hit the like button. You guys always got my back on that. Number one. Yeah, that's why he got off the phone. He didn't want to waste my voice. I don't know if they're golden pipes or not, but Kim says the Cowboys lost. Didn't know that yet. I don't pay that close of attention to football. Rusty's here. Steel Ponies made it from North Carolina. Marn, the weather. I don't know if it's the weather or what, but it was pretty cold the other day. But our good friends Doug and Jill Prey on with us on Facebook. Glad you guys made it again. Yeah. Yep, I figured we'd talk about Mecum Kissimmee with that's why I put up the Hero Hot of Merc sign tonight. It's Kevin, there's lots of cold weather. Let's see. Mike's gonna call this week. That perfect. Just give me a shout. Old School, nobody shows better than any sports. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. So, but anyway, we've had a couple of comments on the sign. Marn, honey and lemon juice. Yeah, that would probably help. So, but anyway, I guess before we get too deep into anything, Mike from New Waverly, Texas made it tonight as well. So hopefully Facebook's hanging in there. As always, if you guys on Facebook start experiencing issues, you can always jump over onto YouTube and join us over there. That feed seems to be working a little better than Facebook typically has been. So Loch Ness Fox got a 64 F100 today. Eloy made it. Glad you're here with us. Mark says Facebook is cutting in and out. So there again, if you're on Facebook, you can always jump over to YouTube. If you are on Facebook on the Nobody's Show page, those comments I cannot see. So if you want to comment or participate tonight, you'll need to be on the Nobody Else's Auto page on Facebook or the Nobody Show channel on YouTube. Those are the two sets of comments that I can see. If you're hanging out on the Nobody Show page on Facebook, you just want to hang out and watch, perfect, no problem there whatsoever. But I can't see those comments. So hot tea with one or two cough drops in it. Yeah, that might help too. But I've been drinking a ton of water. I know that. Rusty Nails made it. So, but anyway, Yes, obviously we got the Hero Honda Merc right behind me. That is a metal sign, autographed. I don't know if you can tell right there. It has George Barris's signature across the side of the hood. These actually, they had these available on their website. And my daughter and I had been looking at their website, and this was several years ago, and looking at some of the stuff they had available. And that was right before George Barris passed away. And these signs and a few other pieces they had, because they had 4 different ones of these, I think, that were all available autographed. And as soon as he passed away, we thought, if we're going to get them, we better get them. So we jumped on. They were still available. So I've got 4 metal Barris signs. So we'll work some more of those in. But obviously, with the Hero Honda Merc changing hands yesterday, I thought we'd throw that one up tonight because it is a beautiful car. Chris, need a good shot of whiskey. Yeah. Brent's on with us on Facebook as well. Number 1 is the answer. Firestone gum dipped. No, it's not. Loch Ness Fox, what did the car sell for? $1.95 million was hammer price. With these, $2.145 million. So it's $2 million custom. That's everybody always wondered what the Hero Honda Merc was worth. We all know it's a $2 million car now. Ironhead Garage made it. So anyway, obviously, old school says it's pocket change, so he's got a lot bigger pockets than I do. But obviously, Kissimmee this week, or like the last 10 days. Bonkers sale. I'm sure a lot of you have looked at the results and at least looked at some of them. Everything was strong. Everything was strong. Andrew says lots of speculation is going overseas. It did sell online. James is back with us. So it sold. I believe they did say it was an internet bidder. I have not talked to my buddy Jim Wicks. Jim was there all week, actually a little over a week. So hopefully this week I will be able to touch base with Jim and see if he heard any rumors about where the car may be headed. So, but it was cool. It's a car that everybody's always wondered about. What's that car really worth? Well, now we know it's the $2 million car. Bill says that's one of a kind, never to be duplicated, and that is 100% correct. So, and like Chris says, the auction was crazy, and that's where we were going. Super strong numbers for everything. I heard they were around a 90% sell through, which is crazy. But like I said, the numbers were so crazy on this stuff that it doesn't surprise me because it was, no matter what it was strong. A few of the notes that I wrote down, obviously the Hero Honda Merc, car 5R002. I don't know if any of you guys saw car 5R002 go across the block. The 1965 Shelby GT350R, the prototype for the R GT350s that we did some videos on at Indy a little over a year and a half ago. So if you saw that 65 Shelby GT350R go across the block, be sure to go back, check out the videos that Jim did with us on those. Jim was involved in the restoration of that car, sourcing a lot of the correct race used parts for that car. And he did some great videos with us explaining the history of the car. Plus, on one video, then we did another video where we did a full walk around on that 65 Shelby. Jim opened the doors, opened the hood, showed us around, gave us a good look at it. And that car sold for, with fees, right at $4 million. So pretty cool to see that thing go across the block again. Scott says Leno should have bought it. You never know. Maybe he did. Who knows? BW made it tonight. Old school. The more electric cars become a thing, the higher prices on the old cars. James, what about the tour bus? Actually, I've got that tour bus right here in my notes. We're going to get to that as well because that was amazing. Jim, the toy trucks on the shelf above my head. Well, let's get to those here in a second after we finish up this Kissimmee stuff, and we'll catch those in a little bit. Sam made it tonight. Glad you're here. But the Dragon Snake, they had a Dragon Snake Cobra, $1.375 million. Also saw that car at Mecum, Indy a few years ago. A lot of the TV Tommy Ivo drag cars went across the block. The Wagon Master, sold for $297,000. That was some pretty cool stuff. One of the original, speaking of George Barris, one of the original Dragulas went across the block, sold for $473,000. Jason made it. Glad you're here. And now the bus, just like James brought up, the 1936 white bus. These were National Park tour buses that were custom made for the national parks back in the 30s to fill full of people and drive them through the parks. There were a handful of them made, in a couple of different runs. Obviously never survived. They were used up, used hard. You don't see them very often, but they were like can't remember, 8 or a 10-door white bus for tourists. Would have been a very complicated restoration. It's a big vehicle, but it hammered at $1.43 million for a 1936 white bus. So that was pretty amazing. David W. is here. He's a little bit late, but he's made it. So, but there again, just crazy. And it doesn't matter what it was. It doesn't matter if it was, Corvettes were, of course, super strong, but even a lot of the cars that we're just starting to see tick up in value were super strong. A lot of the 80s cars that we're just starting to see tick up in value were super strong. James from Virginia's here. So, but like I said, crazy numbers. And it's page after page. When you log into Mecum and look at the results, it is page after page after page of just wowza type numbers. So obviously the market is super, super strong. How long is it going to last? Not sure. We've got a solid year, I think, under us, a little over a year of this bubble. How long is this bubble going to last? I'm hearing 1 to 2 more years is what I'm hearing. I don't know. I can't see it going much longer than another year. But as of right now, stuff is crazy. That's right, Kevin. Even the dragsters did well. So, Joe, 64 to 66 Chevy truck sold for $200K. I saw a 67 or 68 Chevy truck go across the block at $300K for resto mods. So that's right, Nate. Another good point. Nate said 90s and early 2000s low miles trucks, crazy money. I saw like a 97 Ford. I think it was a 97 3/4 ton F250 Power Stroke, $50,000. Nova Aldo, any 62 Plymouths. So I do not have any 62 Plymouths on the ground at all right now, Nova. Number one, Resto Mod Corvettes, crazy money, $200,000-$300,000. So, like I said, I don't know what's driving it, but it is crazy. It is strong, and don't know where it's going to go on some of this stuff. I've got a feeling that when this bubble bursts, some of that stuff is going to. I think the bottom's going to fall out of some of this stuff. Jason sounds like you use some wild turkey for their sinuses. Yeah, my throat's definitely a little scratchy. So. Chris, 71 Olds wagon went for crazy money. I did see that. It was around $100,000 for a 71 Olds Vista Cruiser. But like I said, that's just everything. Everything you looked at was crazy. So definitely worth going back. Scroll through the results, log into Mecum, and it'll give you the results, and you can check out what stuff brought. But just bonkers. Couldn't believe it. Ironhead, some of the guys have more money than sense. Yeah, there's some truth to that. Was there ever a price drop on classic cars in the 80s? I don't remember. I was just a kid then, so. Don't remember exactly what the market did throughout the 80s on a lot of that stuff. But what I'm looking at is what, let's say, C1 Corvettes, 2 or 3 years ago, were really starting to slide. You saw Fuelies. Very nicely done Fuelies in the 80 to 90,000 range. And those cars are back up to 150 to 200. But they were slipping because 15 years ago they were $1.25. They started slipping. Well, now this bubble has them back up. So what's going to happen when this bubble bursts and some of that stuff starts sliding back out is what I'm curious to see. So number one says Chinese billionaires. Thought it was nuts that they see how many cars sold online or on the phone. It could be. Chris, late 80s exotics like Ferrari and Lamborghini. Yeah, they did have an F40 there, 2.5 million, pretty amazing Ferrari. James said he heard a lot of the high-end rich people need to move some money around because of taxes and stuff. Could be. Not sure on any of that, but all I know is, like I said, it was crazy. So, but definitely interesting. Old school people were paying large money for 20s to 50s cars in the 70s, and the 60s muscle cars were worthless. To a certain extent, yes, yeah. But, we're seeing those trends shift every day. But right now, it doesn't matter what it is. It's strong. So, but anyway, be sure to check that out. Go back, look at the results, flip through them, and just remember, kind of maybe take some of those numbers with a grain of salt, because we don't know where some of this stuff is going to be in a year. So that's right. BW says it's hard right now. It's hard assets with the inflation we've got going on. That's another good point. Big job just made it. Glad you're here. Robert says the yellow McLaren. Yeah, I think that was like $3 million if I remember correctly. And property as well. That's true. Also, BW property as well. I mean, we see farm ground around here that's going bonkers too. So, but anyway, before I forget, these little trucks. These are Renwalls. I've got a lot of Renwalls. Renwall was a plastic toy company. These trucks right here, this is the sand and gravel dump truck. Has an opening tailgate, tilting bed. Actually has a little lever to tilt the bed with. Cool Art Deco designs. Opening suicide doors. Neat little pieces. Nothing fancy. Bottoms were pretty basic. That's the sand and gravel truck. The blue one is the coal and coke truck. This one is slightly different. It also has a tilt bed, but it has a chute out the back of it for the coal. Number one, buy beachfront property in Arizona. Pacific Ocean at your door in 10 years. Yeah. Essentially the same truck, just cast in different colors. Get my door stuck shut back here. Blue truck also has suicide opening doors, just like the red one. Pretty basic underneath. These Renwalls were pretty much a basic toy. They were nothing fancy. Like I said, I've got, 15 or 20 of them over there on the shelf. And we'll keep working some more in there. I didn't know if you guys would think these were cool or not, but I can get some more of these Renwalls out. But I've never been a huge collector on them, but I've always kind of paid attention to them. When I could pick a few of them up, I would snag them and add them to the collection. But thought these were great pieces, so we'll work a few other Renwalls in. You guys seem to dig these as well. But these are both pretty nice trucks. Were never played with very hard, because these are just pretty much your basic plastic toys. So not a lot to them. If they had been used hard, there wouldn't be anything left of them. So cool pieces. So that's what they are. Jim says he has some Renwalls from when he was a kid, but never saw the trucks. Old school says late 50s. That's what I'm guessing. Maybe even a little earlier than that. When you look at the design on the nose of these trucks, maybe even early 50s or maybe even late 40s. That's right, Brandon, an Art Deco look. So don't really know, but I'll get some more of them out. Maybe we'll do a little bit of research on them. Maybe it'll be a good topic to discuss in the near future, and talk a little bit about some more of these Renwalls, because they are great pieces, and I always have been a fan of them. Next thing we're going to catch real quick, the magazine or newspaper Farm Show. Old school says you don't think plastic toy trucks came until the late 50s. Ironhead's got a lot of Marks cars. Got some Marks toys coming up on Toy Tuesday this week. You'll definitely want to check that out. So, but Farm Show, it's kind of a magazine, kind of a paper. Why are we talking about the Farm Show? There's an interesting article in there. Number one says good raffle items. Now, I don't get rid of any Renwalls. That's like my promos. I don't really get rid of any of those unless I've got duplicates. So Jim says they were about 48 is what he says, about 1948 for those. And that could be based on the design of them, because I think they were starting to make some plastic toys in the late 40s. So, but anyway, the Farm Show magazine, volume 46, number 1, 2022. I don't know if there's an actual date on this issue of Farm Show, but No, Jason, we have not gotten to the badge yet. We're still on open chat. A little article in here about oil cans. They called. They actually did a phone interview with my daughter and I about our oil can collection. Found us on YouTube and called me. We spent about 30 minutes on the phone with them. Submitted several pictures of different cans. They wanted a picture like this showing just a small sampling of the various sizes and shapes that oil cans come in. So that was fun. They did a good job on the article. So if you're a reader of Farm Show, or know somebody that has it or does take it, you might want to check it out and read the whole article. So appreciate them for contacting me and and letting us help with that and be part of that for them, because obviously that's what's fun about this, is sharing the knowledge and sharing our collection and what we know about it, and hopefully helping somebody else. So, Bill, bring out all the Renwalls. They make great stuff. They were 5 and dime type toys. So, Jim has a Chrysler convertible. Always keeps it in the china closet. Let's see. What else do we need to talk about tonight in open chat? Rocky Mountain Race Week registration opens next week. I think general registration is Saturday morning, so you'll definitely want to, if you're thinking about doing Rocky Mountain Race Week, or even if you're not going to race, sign up for Road Week and come hang out with us. We've got some cool things in the work for Road Weekers as well. So hopefully we're going to have a great deal for the Road Week cars too. If you want to just bring your hot rod, cruise around, go to racetracks for 5 days, hang out with a bunch of new friends that are all there because they like cars and like to go racing. So the only drawback to doing Road Week is you don't get to go down the racetrack. However, the huge benefit to doing Road Week means you can drink beer all day. So you got to kind of weigh some of that. You get to hang out with your new friends and drink beer all day and watch a bunch of racing and check out a bunch of cool cars and go track to track and hang out and have a blast. So, Steve says that 71 Oldswagon was a car. It was a friend of his that owned that car. So, Kevin says the Hudson badge would help your throat if I used it right. So, BW is ready for the Hudson badge as well. So there you go. Anybody needs to take a drink, there's the Hudson badge. So, but I'm still on water. I need all the water I can get right now. But obviously, you saw what I did this week already as far as the Packard and the Turnpike Cruiser. I'm sure a lot of you guys have already caught those videos as well. We got them out Monday and did a video of exactly where I found them, how we found them, and then we got them rinsed off and did another video on each car. So those are up. Hope you guys checked those out and got a good look at those. Super cool old cars. Was really excited to find those as well. So that's what that's what we found this week. Or I told you guys last week I didn't know when we were going to get in there. I made some calls Monday morning. We were able to get in there that afternoon and get them out. So that's what we did and got the videos up already. So number one says apparently I'm on Road Week every week. So Iron Daisy says they go and drink water as well because of meds. So that's all I'm on is water right now too. So Classic Ride Society says those were some cool cars. They are neat cars, that's for sure. I need to show the badge a lot before the auction, says Kim. That's right. There we go. There it is again. Brandon says the Packard's beautiful. The Packard is a beautiful car. It really is. They both are beautiful cars. So it was excited about them. And like I said, we just gave you the quick glimpse of them now once we had them hosed off. But it's cool to find that stuff. So even though they're 4-doors, it's still cool to find that stuff and still in decent shape and things like that. So Norma agrees they were nice cars. Number one says try sweet tea for daisies. Never heard of that. So Jason says wild turkey will slow the cough down. So actually, I don't even have any wild turkey in there. I got some Gentleman Jack over there. I guess I could try some of that and see if that would help. But Classic Ride Society, no, those cars will not be parted out. They'll be sold complete. Bill says that it was excellent camera work. Well, thanks, Bill. Appreciate that. My dad shot those, and he actually shot them with using his crutch. So he's got an ankle that he's got to have surgery on, and he doesn't want to take a chance of tearing it up any worse. So he's kind of using a crutch part of the time. So he shot those while still using while he's trying to hold his crutch and not twist that bad ankle till he gets in to get it fixed. So appreciate that. Number one says Gentleman Jack is a doctor. So Cameron's on with us. So BW's Garage said he'll do some Woodford Reserve. Well, there you go. Have a little more Woodford Reserve. So anyway, who's ready to get into some new badges for tonight? Kevin says, God bless Dad. Yeah, he's well, like I said, we've done this forever. I grew up in it. He's retired, but he still loves cars. He still loves finding cars. He still has fun with cars. He's got a ton of cars in his collection, tons of signs. So he's just as bad as all of us. So Bill says he's got 5 inches of snow. He's going to send me some. I don't want any. We got a trace yesterday. Thankfully, it's gone today because I didn't want any. I didn't even want that. Don from Nashville checking in. Brandon, AMC badges. Don't have any AMC badges out for tonight. Cameron, need some Canadian badges. I did have a viewer send me an Acadian badge. We looked at that on Toy Tuesday here a month or two ago when we did a viewer box opening, and there was an Acadian badge in there. But tonight, let's check out a couple of new ones. Nope, didn't go with an Essex tonight. We got the Hudson badge, though. But we're going to start off with tonight, as usual, one of our older badges. This is one that my daughter actually put on its own specific board. It was one of her favorite badges, and it is amazing with the detail on this one. From what I found on my American Badges website that we've been talking about, which is great, this is a Dodge Brothers Senior from about 1927 or 1928. This is a beautiful badge. This is a typical radiator shell badge. It is just under 2 inches wide. It's about 2 inches tall, it's 2 inches tall, just under 2 inches across. But what's amazing about this thing, and I hope you guys can see it and make out some of the detail in this badge, all this ornamentation around it, the flat sides, the circle in it, the enamel. It's got a few chips in the enamel. Dodge Brothers Senior. From what I found, this was for the Dodge Brothers Senior 6 is what I found on that American Automotive Badges website. Kim likes it. BW likes it. Cement Surfer likes it. Yeah, it's a cool piece. Kim says looks like a giant class ring. It kind of does. It has that much detail and that much ornamentation in it. Chad's late, but that's all right. You still made it. So I don't know if there was a junior or freshman on that or not. So Cameron says looks better than the Hood Ornamentos Polaris. So, and Chad digs it too. So it is a great piece. I mean, just all the ornamentation and detail in this thing. But there again, this was a sense of pride. This badge on the front of the radiator shell was what you had to make your car stand out. Back in the mid-20s, most cars pretty much looked the same. So something like this that really stands out is all you had really to make your vehicle look different. So that's a ton of detail for a little badge, but that's what they did back then. So Jason digs it. Cameron wishes he had some too. Yeah. James likes it. So it's a great piece. It really is. So we were excited to get it. Obviously, like I said, it's one of her favorites. That's why it's on its own little board. Rusty Nell says anything Dodge can't be too bad. So lots of comments popping up that you guys like it. I'm sure I probably missed a few of them, but it's a great piece, and was happy to be able to share it with you, and glad that you guys like it as well. But that's what's so crazy about this stuff is back then the detail. I mean, this is cast metal with enamel porcelainizing or whatever in it. that is, today everything is plastic, and this is all metal with the enamel in it, with that kind of detail in it. Even the ends of the scroll, where the senior is kind of on a scroll, you can even see the ends of like the scroll that haven't unraveled yet on both sides. That kind of detail. So that's like I said, stuff that we'll never see again on a car. So I don't think it's pot metal. I think it was metal that was like plated or something, because it's kind of worn through on some of the edges of the silver. So, but there again, great piece. Super excited about it. Glad you guys like it. No, this wasn't painted. This is actually enamel, like porcelain type stuff, enamel that was, I think they put it in there and then baked it to make it do that. So number one says, like the Packard grill. I don't remember which Packard grill we were talking about. That's you kind of threw me off with that one. So, but Bill says, definitely not Mopar. Beautiful Dodge badge. Cameron digs it. Dan, that's right, Dan. It's got a lot of eye appeal. It got your attention. That's exactly what it did. Joe on Facebook says, definitely quality stuff back then. Steel Ponies, automaker. That's right, Steel Ponies. That's another perfect point. Automakers were proud of their products, and that's why they're still popular for collectors. Rusty Nails, is it for sale? Nope. It's like I said, she cut this block, drilled a hole in the back to hang it, stained the block, for this badge. So yeah, it's probably not going anywhere. So Don's Hot Rod Garage says that is craftsmanship. It definitely was. So Pop Metal Girl on the Packard video. Oh yeah, that's right. The Packard grill has a similar type enamel ornament on the front of it. I got some of those too. We ought to dig some of those out. But I do have some of those individuals as well. So, but anyway, there's the first badge for tonight. Going back into the 20s, like we do with a lot of these, for this exact reason: the detail, the ornamentation, the craftsmanship, and just like Steel Ponies just said, the pride in what they were manufacturing. That's what we see here in this one little piece. That's what makes it great to be able to take these pieces of history, hold them up here. We can all hang out here on Sunday night, hold up a piece of history, discuss it, learn about it, and appreciate it for what it is here almost 100 years later. 95 years later, we're sitting here talking about this, and this car's place in history, this badge's place in history, and the pride of the people that made it back then. So, Bill says it'd make it a great belt buckle. Yeah, it would. Big job. Sad story about the Dodge brothers. They never got the recognition they deserved while they were alive, and that's true as well. No, Rusty Nails, $30 wouldn't even touch it. I'm pretty sure I paid way more than that for it. So, yep, it's not for sale. That's right, Cement Surfer. Loch Ness Fox is on 2 lives right now. He's checking, so he's hanging out with somebody else too. So, Jason says his daughter got the badge the other day. Perfect. Glad it made it safely, Jason. Hope she likes it. Iron Days, any good old Motometer radiator caps? A few, but not a lot. Don's Hot Rod Garage, where did I find it? This actually came out of a huge collection in Missouri. We've talked about it on here several times. In fact, if you saw the train, the big steam train that we saw on Toy Tuesday here a few weeks back, came out of the same collection. Ozark Fox loves the blue. Yep. Great. Jason's daughter loved the badge. That is so awesome. I am so excited that she loved it, and maybe she'll start collecting some of this stuff as well. So Kevin's here. He's a little late, but he made it. That's okay. But anyway, this came out of a collection in Missouri. We met a gentleman at the Springfield Swap Meet 4 or 5 years ago now, and he had license plates and badges, essentially. Loch Ness loved the train. So yeah, and I've got a full video on that train. It's a year or two back, but if you want to see that steam locomotive, definitely go back and check that out. But that's right, Robert. My friend Robert says the Dodge brothers died from the Spanish flu, and that before they really got their due for what they accomplished. But he had all these license plates and badges, and he was helping a family clean out a collection that of a gentleman who at that time was in his 90s. His dad had a scrapyard back in the 40s and 50s, and especially during the war drive in World War II. This guy saved all these badges and all the license plates off of all the vehicles that they scrapped. So that's where this came from. And I've got hundreds of badges from him, Hudson Badge. And that's where this came from, as well as, a lot of the badges, a lot of the early badges that we look at on here came out of that collection. So, Kevin, all badges are bought at shows. Well, we actually got to know the guy pretty well. What year is this badge, says Joe? 2728 is what I found. 1927, 1928 is when they used this Dodge Brothers Senior. Number one says, I've got the Spanish flu. I can run by. I hope not. I hope I don't have the Spanish flu. So that's right, Don's Hot Rod Garage. He was ahead of his time saving them. And there's so many ties in with this collection that, and I'll tell you one story here real quick. But because we ended up, like I said, we bought hundreds of badges from the guy. And kind of an interesting story. We were actually going to the Kid Pickers Flea Market here 3 years ago, I think. My daughter signed up for the Kid Pickers Flea Market. So we're going up to Iowa to go to the store in LeClaire for the Kid Pickers Flea Market. Called Robbie, told him we were coming through. So we stopped at Robbie's shop when we first got up there. In fact, actually, I think that I had to take an engine up for Robbie. So I had to drop an engine at Robbie's shop. So I loaded the engine up. And we headed straight to Robbie's and hung out at Robbie's for a while, bought a few things from him. And then he said, hey, you need to go over to my buddy's place, over to the Dahl collection, DAHL, Dahl Ford in, they weren't in LeClaire, but it was right there in Davenport, Dahl Ford. Amazing collection. Now, when you get, and this is where the story gets weird. Even though they're a Ford dealer, they've got a very, very nice collection with a lot of different types of vehicles, not just strictly Fords. Iron Daisies is a vendor at Iola. Lots of vendors selling badges there. And I've never been to Iola. I've heard it's a good one. But Hudson Badge. So we go over to see the Dahls, and great people. Had a great time with them. They had a 23 Cadillac coupe in their collection that was all original. This Cadillac had actually been saved from a scrap drive. Some guy, I think it was up in Michigan, had a construction company, and he told the scrap guys, if you have any really cool cars come in, I will trade you junk construction equipment for the cars. Since this was a Cadillac, it was a 23 Cadillac coupe. And this guy, to conserve space, he would save these cars, and then he literally hung them from the bumper straight up and down in this huge warehouse so he could save more floor space. That's what happened to this 23 Cadillac. This collection was sold out several years ago, and this Cadillac ended up in the Dahls collection. Sometime between when it came out of that collection and got into the Dahls' hands, someone had swiped the radiator badge off of it. So this car was totally complete, totally original, but it had a blank hole on the radiator grill shell. So we're walking around checking out this collection, and he said, man, he goes, that's all we need for this car, and it's totally original, totally complete. My daughter says, I got one in the truck. So you should have seen their jaws about hit the floor when she said, I think I got one in the truck, because we had taken some badges up there to the Kid Pickers Flea Market with us. So we went and got it out of the truck. Well, the one we had in the truck was actually, it was 1 or 2 years off. It was very close, but it wasn't the exact one. So we left that one with them. And then when we got home, we went back through the other badges that we had bought, and we had the exact badge for that car in the collection of the stuff we had bought out of Missouri. So we wrapped it up and sent them to him. And my daughter and I talked about it. It's like, this badge was saved at the same time that car was saved. It was almost like they were meant to be back together. We sent it to the Dahls. They were able to put it back on the Cadillac. So this original 23 Cadillac coupe is back to original with the correct badge in place. So quick side story there. It was pretty cool. There's the Hudson Badge. But the fact that this guy saved all this stuff, and then the gentleman that was helping the family sell it got to be good friends with him, still talk to him occasionally. And that's what this hobby is about, making friends, doing the stuff we enjoy. And that's where this badge came from. That's where the Hudson Badge came from. as well as a lot of these other early badges that we check out on here. So anyway, got a little bit off course there, but definitely wanted to share that story. Now, next badge, we'll bump up a few years and a few comments on the story as well that you guys liked it. I'm glad you did. Like I said, we kind of got off course there for a second, but definitely worth mentioning that, you know, here we were literally 80 years later, almost 80 years later, and this particular car was saved. The badge was stolen off of it at some point. We find this other badge out of a totally another collection from a different part of the country that was saved off of another Cadillac that didn't survive, and now they're back together. And even though it's one little tiny piece of history, that badge was able to complete that car exactly as it should be. So, big job. Loch Ness was a 64 Ford short bet on Marketplace last week. Kim says, that was nice of your daughter. Yeah, and we discussed it. I said, what do you want to do? She's like, it's supposed to be there. Let's just send it to them. So we put it in a box, shipped it up to them, and they were ecstatic. And because that's kind of how she felt about it, that's where it belonged. It was fate that, you know, Robbie sent us over to see these guys, introduced us to them, you know, because when we left Robbie Wolf's, he called over and said, hey, I'm sending some friends over, check out your cars. And so we were able to make that connection and then able to make that car and that story come full circle. Scott says, great story. Appreciate that. Let's see. Grant's on with us. Meaning to call you here in January. Whenever, Grant, just give me a call. Grant Tommy, Straight Six fan, on with us tonight. Be sure to check his channel out as well. Grant saves my butt on a lot of stuff. He helps me out quite a bit. So he understands all this digital media and electronic stuff way better than I do. So be sure to check out his channel, Straight Six fan. Yeah, give me a shout whenever, Grant. That's no big deal. If you miss me, I'll call you right back. Dan says she did the right thing. Yep. Steel Ponies. Glad we have people with the insights to hold on to these precious pieces. And that's exactly what it amounted to, that's exactly what happened. So Grant digs the sign too. Yeah, we talked about that earlier, Grant. I've got 4 of them that are signed that we bought right around when George Barris passed away. So we'll get some new ones up, here as we work our way through this. So Hudson badge. But the next emblem we're going to check out tonight, Straight Grant says, I think you got the video side of things down and rolling. You helped me out a lot, that's for sure. So I'm going to give credit where credit's due. You kind of, and you still do. So Ken Nolan's here. Pete's on with us, found on Craigslist tonight. Follow to YouTube. Great. Glad you're here, Pete. Welcome. Thanks for stopping by. We've got a great crowd on here. We do this every Sunday night. We have a ton of fun on here, and we share a lot of knowledge. And a lot of times, if I don't have the answer, a lot of times a lot of our viewers will. And that's what this deal's all about. And we've got a Hudson badge. So, which is an inside joke, Pete. If you just jumped on, you haven't got that yet. So, Grant, Straight Six fan, was thinking of doing an upload on Hudson history. So that could be interesting too. That's rightly, a lot of history was crushed for the war effort. There's no doubt about that. Fortunately, at least these badges and license plates were saved. So, and in fact, the 43 Missouri license plate in this month's raffle came out of that collection. So there is one piece in the raffle this month coming out of that collection of badges and license plates where I got the train. So next badge we're going to check out tonight. This is a pretty neat one. A lot of you will probably know what that means. The Buick Roadmaster. This is a 1951 trunk badge. This went above the trunk handle, above where it said, Buick 8, where you grabbed it and you had your lock cylinder. 51 was the only year in that window in the late 40s, early 50s where they actually put a separate badge on the trunk lid to designate the model. Special Super Roadmaster all had their own separate badge. This, obviously being Roadmaster, was top of the line. And Roadmaster made a statement piece. I mean, they called them Roadmasters because they were top of the line cruisers, just literally one notch under the Cadillac in the GM hierarchy. So always love Roadmaster badges just because they are like a Cadillac badge. They symbolized top of the line, luxury, high quality automobiles for Buick. So always love Roadmaster badges. So Bill says hit the like button. Appreciate that. Neat story about the Cadillac badge. Let's see. Pete's in on the secret now. So Kevin says his dad had a 51 Roadmaster. Yeah, my dad's actually got a 51 Roadmaster convertible, a restored one. That's a beautiful car. So one of these days I ought to do some videos on some of his cars too. But yeah, he's actually got a restored 51 Roadmaster convertible. So always liked the Roadmaster badges, always liked for what they stood for, and they were a statement piece. So that's what we had for badges tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed them. We also got a Hudson badge. So anyway, trying to decide if I think I can do the magazine or not tonight. So I guess we can try it and see how it goes. I'm hanging in there for now. We may get through the magazine and then kind of go through pretty quick, after that. But Joe, would be cool to see a picture of a vehicle with a badge for the younger generation to see. Yeah, and maybe we can start doing some of that if I can find a good picture on some of this stuff to kind of illustrate exactly where it goes. So, but Old School says go ahead and try it. Well, we'll see what we can do here with this issue of Car and Driver from June of 1973. Jim says we covered Michigan, the Hudson, Dodge Brothers, and Roadmaster. Yep. BW says don't overdo it. Well, I know, and I condensed version. We can hold this till next week if you think that's what we ought to do. I mean, there's some cool stuff in here, but we can go ahead and move forward and try and then save this for next week as well. So I'm just like I said, I don't know how hard I want to push it tonight by going through the whole magazine as well. So whatever you guys think we'll do. Was it an AMC ad? No, it was a Shock ad, Gabriel Hijackers. So Ken Nolan just finished up Omni, took 2 days, but keep energy up. Jay says it's up to me. I want to do it, but on the other hand, I don't want to, completely, make things any worse either. So, and a lot of you guys are saying just save it. So that's right. Grant says he saw a diagonal shape in blue and thought it was AMC. Yep. BW vitamin C and D. Yep. I had a bunch of orange juice this morning. So, okay, we'll just hold it till next week. That's what we'll do next week. The Car and Driver from June of 73. We'll work with the notes for that next week. So we still got a few things I want to cover tonight. And that will definitely save some time and make things a little easier on my voice. So the only 60 to 62 Chevy truck I've had come in was that 6-cylinder lately, Joe. So nothing on that yet. But we've still got some stuff to cover. We've still got some trivia. We've still got the raffle to talk about and the videos and things coming up next week. Plus, we're going to auction something off. And we got a Hudson badge. So, so hopefully this doesn't get any worse. I think I'm through the worst of it. I just don't want to make it any worse, I guess is the best way to put it. So, but anyway, we've got some trivia. We've got some raffle stuff to talk about, and we're going to auction something off. So, magnesium and zinc. I haven't tried any of that. So, took some NyQuil last night. Probably take some more of that tonight, and maybe it'll knock me out, get some more rest. So, when's the giveaway engine in the car coming? Don't know yet. Still working on a few things on that, so stay tuned. So, you never know what might pop up. But trivia time, and we're going to time it. So Alan NC's got to go move some snow. So tonight we're going to give away that Kevin says gargling with salt water. I have not done that yet either. I used to do that when I was a little kid, but I haven't done that in a long time. This is kind of a neat little piece. It's nothing real fancy. It's a good little shelf piece. Iron Daisy's Death Green NyQuil to the rescue. Yeah. At least I got the tablets, man. I remember I used to have to take that stuff as a kid in the liquid form. Oh God, I know that was terrible. Can Nolan, 2 days of orange juice, fresh lemonade. Joe says Zycam. No, I don't know anything about Zycam. So we got a little notebook, cool little shelf sitter from Gates Hoses, and this is from Scheifler Supply Company, and that was a local parts distributor that I don't even remember. I remember the name, but this is 60s or 70s. It's got all kinds of Gates hose information in the back of it. So just a neat little shelf sitter type thing, or you could actually use it for a notepad and then still kind of keep it as a little shelf sitter. No one says Green Death is a pack of export cigarettes. So but anyway, we're going to go 60 seconds on the trivia question. It is a little trickier tonight. Trying to make it a little harder. Make sure seeing if everybody's paying attention. 60 seconds. And it's going to be on the cans from Toy Tuesday. We looked at 2 Diesel 5-gallon cans, and there were ratings on the cans in a little white box. They were very similar, but they were slightly different. What were the ratings on those cans? Either one, if you can remember one of those. We got the clock set for 60 seconds. What were the ratings of the lubricants in those cans? Keeping an eye on both formats as we let the clock tick down, and we'll start getting ready for the talk about the raffle. We'll get some of this raffle stuff out here to start checking out. No guesses coming in yet. Maybe we stumped everybody this week. Nothing coming in yet, so maybe it was a little bit tricky. I'm trying to make them a little trickier and timing them so that we can kind of make it a little bit more challenging. So we're actually down to about 15 seconds. They were 5-gallon cans, but there was a rating on them, and it was kind of a weird rating. So just about up. We're there almost. We're at 57, 58. There is 60. There's a minute. So. Wheel bearing grease, nope. Nobody remembered any of that one, so we stumped. nobody even got any good guesses on that. So, and they were kind of weird. And actually, BW he got it in there. It was late, but he got it. BW's Garage got it. Air shot heavy. One was air shot heavy. One was air shot medium. I don't know where they come up with air shot for what that stood for out of the ratings that they had. But BW's Garage got it tonight. He was a little bit past, but we'll let that slide this time. So, because it was a pretty tricky one. Air shot heavy is what it was, and air shot medium. Like I said, usually it's like 20 weight or 50 weight or something, but they said they went with air shot. Don't know why, don't know how, don't know what it meant, but air shot is what they went with for their ratings. So anyway, on to the raffle. Old School says that was too hard. Well, I'm going to try to make them a little trickier, so. Number one, air shot is how far it shoots out of the dipstick tube and engine temp. I guess that could be one way to do it. Hudson Badge. And then you guys wanted to do another, if you guys wanted to do another auction, I'm going to give you a choice on what we auction tonight. We can do a badge or a metal oil can. So I'll be watching your comments for the badge or the oil can tonight for an auction item here in a little while. But the raffle for tonight Jason says nothing to eat today and too many Hudson badges. Old School says oil can. Kim says badge. Lee says badge. I'll keep tallying them up as we go here, as we start talking about. BW says badge. Cameron says badge. Brian says oil can. Kevin says badge. Jason says can. But the raffle, Ken Nolan says badge. Kevin says Packard. Brandon says badge. David W says can. Randy says badge. Okay. Scott and Joe on Facebook say badge. So lots of badges. So number one had several answers prepared. Just not the right one. More badges. So it looks like the badge tonight, pretty much hands down, we're going to do another badge auction here shortly. So we'll squeeze a can in next week. Number one wants to do a beer sign. But the raffle for January, which we'll be giving away on January 30th, got a couple guys in. David is in, and BW is in. So those guys are both in. Their names have already been printed out. They are in the big Buick oil can right now as we speak for this month's raffle. So, so that's what we've got going on. Chad, 70 Impala passenger front fender. You have to give me a shout on that tomorrow, and I'll see if I've got one. I know I've got to check because I had another call on that today as well. 51 Henry J taillights. I've got 2 Henry J's. I don't think there's taillights left in either one of them. So, but the raffle, like I said, that's who's in. David is in, and BW is in for the Mobile Oil outboard metal can with great graphics on it, including usage directions. Beautiful piece with the Pegasus. Haviland Texaco, once again, metal oil can. Sealed on top, drained from the bottom. Nice can, very presentable looking can. 2 display spark plugs in original boxes. The old iconic AC badge from the 70s. Blind bid on badge. BW is going to start us at 20. So, okay. And it's well worth 20, so you're perfectly fine at that, BW. The AC plug, the super cool Skelly plug in box with a Skelly stamped plug. And these license plates. 75 Kansas. This is used, but still has really good color. Metal plate. A new 74 Kansas plate. Metal. The brand new in the package license plate. Jason's already in for 30. 1956, brand new, with original envelope, never bolted on a car, from 1956. Chat says no using those plates as body panels. So you guys are ready for the auction. Number one's already taken off with it. And he's already got his cadence going. And then the last plate that we're going to talk about that's going to be part of the raffle. This is the one out of the same collection as I got these badges from. The 1943 Missouri plate. Yep, that's it. There it is. The 1943 Missouri plate. It went on top of the other plate, obviously saving metal that to conserve it for the war effort. So that came out of that same collection of the license plates and badges that were saved. So that's all part of the raffle this month. Like I said, BW is in, David is in. Be sure to get your chances in. PayPal friends and family only, since they've changed a bunch of the rules on PayPal. And so be sure to get in on that, or you can send me a check, money order. I've even had a lot of you guys just throw a 10 or a 20 in the mail and do it that way as well. So We can do it however you want, but be sure to get in. We've got a couple weeks left before we're going to give this stuff away. It's going to be a great prize pack. Can Nolan have any 47 plates? Probably some. So Iron Daisy said they're unemployed, so they're broke as well. So, but anyway, let's be sure to get in on that. Somebody's going to win that stuff. I've got a couple of you in now. So BW loves the plates as well. That's why it's a good thing you're already in. So let's go ahead and auction off a badge. And we're going to go with a Chevrolet badge tonight, 29 to 31. Some chipping across the top. This badge is right at 3 inches high. And come on, if it'll cooperate. Almost 3 inches across the Chevrolet as well. So, Blick, do I have any funky 70s window van windows? No, I don't have anything like that. So, BW's garage is in for 35. So, there it is. We'll let everybody look at it, think about it for a second, and see where we go. Lee's in for 50. So, think about it, look at it for a minute, and we'll set the timer here. We'll give everybody a minute or so to think about it. And then we will set the timer to wrap this thing up here shortly. So once everybody gets a second to think about it, BW is at 55. So there it is. Oh, I'll show you the back of it as well. This was one that was, crimped on, pressed on in the back. This badge is pretty straight. It was, a lot of times, especially these badges that had a lot of overhang above and where it was crimped on, a lot of times these get bent when they get pried on. And so this one has some chipping on it, but it's straight. It's a pretty nice badge. So we've got BW's garage at 55. We're going to give it 60 seconds. Lance loves it. And here we go. That's where we're at right now. I'm watching both Facebook and YouTube. 60 seconds on the clock. What did Withrow bid? I don't remember where his last bid was at. I think it's already scrolled off. So we've got BW at 55. If anybody else wants to go in, let me know. And I'll keep an eye on both formats to see if anybody wants to go any deeper than 55 on it. As of right now, I've got BW at 55. And it is a neat piece. So 30 seconds left. We'll give it another 30 seconds. If anybody wants to get in, now's the time to jump on in and to get this thing for you. Lance says he's working. He's a little bit lost. We're auctioning this off, Lance. Dan's in for 60. We've got 15 seconds left. 10 seconds left. And let's see, 5 seconds. And that's it. So we've got Dan at 60. So you can do, PayPal friends and family on that, Dan. You can send me a check, money order, whatever you want to do. But going to Dan Buckman on that one at 60. Thanks for playing, guys. Second one we've done. I hope you guys had fun. BW's garage came in at 61, but we were already done. So we'll keep doing it. We'll do a can next week. So sorry about that, BW. I know sometimes we're up against the system on some of this stuff, and that gets us in a bind at times. So, but that's unfortunately what happens. That's why the only fair way to do it is to actually put it on a timer and, so that it doesn't go on all night. So thanks for playing, everybody. We'll do a can next week and see how that goes. So anyway, what else is happening? Obviously new inventory for this week. You've all already seen it since we did the videos on, thanks, Kim. Appreciate you and BW playing along and being a good sport about that. And that's what I hate. The technology is great, but sometimes it just doesn't cooperate and get in time. So anyway, you've seen the new inventory that came in this week, the Packard and the Turnpike Cruiser. If you didn't see those, be sure to check those out as well. Those were great videos. The Turnpike Cruiser's gotten a lot of traction. Was going to be the BW Garage Friday night drinking game badge. So Hudson badge. 2 auctions, 95. I think last week was 30. I'd have to go back and look. So, but no, like I said, if you guys are playing along and having fun, I'm good with it. And if it's extra stuff that I've got, I'm good with that as well. So, yeah, we've got a guy that wants the Turnpike Cruiser at this point, so we're trying to get that finished up this week. So, BW video lag. So, Jason's on a fridge run. Well, we'll throw another one of these up so when you get back from the fridge run, you're ready to go. So anyway, that's what obviously happened this week, new inventory wise. What's coming up, new videos. I've got some stuff that's already in the can that we haven't even showed you yet because I got obviously onto once we got into the Packard and the Turnpike Cruiser, I wanted to get those videos up, but I've got some Chevy trucks that are already shot. Really cool 70 C10 video is going to come up. Really sharp 53 Chevy farm truck with a little short farm bed, like a 9-foot grain bed on it. Need to get that video up. Got one more video from my buddy's yard that I want to share with you guys. It's the last one I've got till I'll be down there again sometime this year later on. We'll get some more videos there. So Shopcat is here. Glad you made it. And plus all the stuff I picked up last week. Any Fulton visors that would fit a 51 Henry J. I do not have any Fultons right now at all, Brandon. I've got 5 outside visors in stock, but I don't have any. None of them are Fultons. One of them supposedly did come off of a Kaiser, but that's it. But no Fultons. Joe still wants to see World War II aircraft stuff. Yeah, we got to work some more of that stuff in, Joe. We really do. Candle, I take e-transfers, PayPal friends and family is the only thing I'm doing right now. We've talked about some other options, and a lot of you guys have given me some good options to check into, but I have not gotten that far yet. So PayPal friends and family, check, money order, Western Union, any of that stuff is fine with me. So Big Job says I look a little pale. Well, maybe I'm worse off than I thought. Chad, 70C10, very interested. Yeah, it's a long bed, regular long bed pickup, but it's pretty much untouched. I mean, they parked it, shut the key off, and that's pretty much how it is right now. So it is a neat old truck. So Jason says he's going to have to put a mini fridge by his recliner for Sunday night chat. That could be a good plan. BW says Venmo is easy as well. So that's some of that stuff I need to check into, Hudson Badge. Chad says, yes, it does have an engine in it, just a regular 350. I think it is a 4-barrel, but it is just a regular 350 automatic pickup. But like I said, it is a cool old pickup. And anyway, what color was it? It was that kind of a metallic yellow green they had there in 69, 70. Of course, it's all faded, but that's what it originally was that kind of yellowish green, gold. It's a kind of a goldish green metallic that they had. So pretty common color on those pickups in that era. That's what it was originally. Shopcat off to the workshop to work on a science project. So sounds like fun. And Jason just threw it up there. He loves the show. So I'm glad you do. I'll throw the Hudson batch up again so you guys can have another drink. But that's pretty much all I've got for tonight. Like I said, I apologize. I'm just not number one, metallic phlegm. Yeah, that's pretty close actually. So Rusty Nell says I just need to make this into a necklace. If I just made it into a necklace and it sat here and hung all night, you guys would all be good and loaded. But like I said, I think skipping the magazine and putting that one off till next week is probably the right plan. Just because, I'm already starting to feel it now. And if we'd gotten into that and hadn't gotten the rest of the stuff done yet, I think I would be pretty scratchy by the time we wrapped up. So I apologize for cutting you guys short tonight. But hopefully that works out okay for everybody. Next week, we will get into that issue of car and driver. And plus, we'll check out some more badges. And we'll do another auction. We'll do an oil can auction next week. Congratulations to Dan for winning the badge this week, and to BW on the trivia question. Kim says, "Get some rest. We'll see you on Toy Tuesday." Yep, and that's what I'm hoping for, is to get some good sleep tonight. So Joe says, "Who says they're not loaded already?" Good point. So, and Joe says, "Great show as well. Chicken soup and tea, yeah, that would probably help." Everybody, lots of comments about the show. That Dan says, "Checks in the mail, great." Shopcat, 4T with scotch. Yeah, that would probably do something. But anyway, tons of comments of you guys to get better soon, and tons of support for the show, which is amazing. Norma says loves the show, and that's what, you guys are just so supportive, and you love what we do here. But realistically, if you guys weren't here hanging out, making this what it is, it wouldn't be what it is. So that's what's important, and that's what makes it what it is. I'm just a lucky dum-dum that gets to sit here in front of the computer and hang out with y'all. But apparently we're doing something that works, because a lot of you guys keep coming back every week. Seems like we gain a few every week. These last several weeks, we've had a few new ones pop up every time. So that's great as well. And Pete, our new one, says, "Great show. Enjoyed it, and he will be back." That's great, Pete. Like I said, you just got to watch out for the Hudson badge, because that can bite you, I think, at some point, from what some of these guys say. Blick says it was his first Sunday Night Live, and he loved it as well. That's great. There again, we keep gaining a few of you guys every week, and that's what makes it fun. That's what makes it what it is. Number one says, "Call me on the phone. I'm just as nice on the phone as on YouTube." Some people will say that. Some people probably won't. Sometimes I do get irritated on the phone, because sometimes these guys call me about parts and they don't even know what they're looking for. If I had to keep asking you 3, 4, 5 times trying to get information out of you about what your car is, because you won't tell me, I do get frustrated at times, because I'm just trying to get information to try to help you. And some of these guys don't get that. So I try to be, but sometimes it does get a little frustrating when these guys call me and they don't even have any clue of what they need or what they want to do. Old School says this was his 54th Sunday night. This actually overall was our 96th Sunday night. 96 episodes. We're quickly closing in on our 100th episode. As bonkers as that sounds, we've been on for almost 2 years. We missed a couple. There was 1 or 2 nights we had some internet issues. I remember there was one night, I think last spring, we had just a massive storm come through and knocked out the power here where I'm at. But yeah, this is number 96. So next week, 97, we're closing in on that number 100. And like I said, it's all of you guys that hang out with us that make this what it is. So Scott says, "Hot buttered rum and take care of myself." Yeah. Well, yeah, and like I said, it's a lot. I'm trying not to overdo it, but Brandon says wild turkey on the 100th. So next week's the Connor McDavid episode, number 97, greatest player in the world. Not sure where you're going with that, but Chad, looking forward to Rocky Mountain Race Week. Yeah, I am a sponsor on Rocky Mountain Race Week. I don't think I'd call me a major sponsor, but I am involved in it, and Matt and I are hoping to have some announcements this week on some of the stuff that I've been working on for Rocky Mountain Race Week. So definitely looking forward to that. It's a phenomenal time. I don't know if you've been on it before or not, Chad, but if you guys haven't, if you can, even if you're just going to do road week, do it. Even if you're just going to do part of road week, do it. Come hang out. It is probably one of the best group of people you'll ever hang out with. The only time I've ever seen happen what I've seen on road week, on race week, is I've seen it at Bonneville. At Bonneville at the Salt Flats, those guys will do anything they can to help their competitors out. They'll hand them their extra parts, do whatever they can do to keep those cars running. And that's what happens on race week. That's why it's such a special deal. And that's why even if you don't have a race car and you want to go hang out, sign up for road week. You get the swag bag, you get t-shirts, you get entry into every track. And like I said, if you're thinking about doing road week, hopefully we're going to have some big announcements on that here coming soon. But it is super exciting. Rocky Mountain Race Week is a special deal. It is a special event. There really isn't any way to just to understand it unless you experience it. So definitely check that out, and do Road Week if you don't get into race next week. So Bill says, take it easy. Glad you made it back to Bill. Big Job says number 100 is going to be a hell of a party. So I don't know. We'll have to figure out what we want to do. So let's see. Lots of comments popping up here. Shopcat's all in on a wild turkey night. So Phil got his Ford truck hood spears. Glad got them installed. Glad those made it safely. William Alderman, new to the show, but 100 will be fantastic. Well, I'm glad you're here, William. I hope you had fun, and hope you come back and hang out with us. Jason just said, did somebody say wild turkey? So he's all excited. Chad's plan is Road Week this year. Lee got his mini mags perfect. Glad they made it safely. Joe says, are we going to do something special for 100? I think we should, but I don't really know what. But we got 3 more. We got 2 more episodes where we can talk about it. No, 3 more, 97, 98, 99 before we get to 100. So we got 3 more episodes decided what we're going to do for 100 and what we think we could do that would be super cool for the 100th episode. I can't believe I've done this almost 100 times. I can't believe most of you guys keep coming back and hanging out with me almost 100 times. So number 1 says we're giving away an engine still bolted to a truck. Chad says no Crown Royal. Everybody here gets excited about the Wild Turkey ads from the 70s magazines. So that's why Wild Turkey keeps coming up quite a bit. So that's a badge. Go back through the archives for the 100th. We could do that. We could, go back and talk about a lot of this, how it started, what it came into. I've got my notebook right here, just jam-packed full of information. So, and the first, I started doing these worksheets. Jason's on a fridge run. Beer and pretzels for the 100th, says Scott. I started doing these sheets at episode number 46. Prior to that, I was just doing notes on a yellow pad, which I've got over here in this file. So yeah, we can definitely go back and talk about how it started. And because it actually did start out for a reason. So let's see. Ozark Fox driver's side went over for a 40-ounce Studebaker truck. Should still have some of those. If you want to give me a shout tomorrow, I'll get you on my list and double check. But I think I do still have some of those as well. Chad's got to run. David, I thought you were going to blow something up. Yeah, that would be something. That would be kind of interesting. I need to see if I can find those videos where we blew up that Toyota station wagon and some of that stuff. I think I've got. I don't have all of them. I think I've got 1 or 2 of those videos. Number 1, yeah, it's a good thing we didn't do the magazine tonight. Live walk for the 100th, says Bill, but we couldn't do that at night. That's the problem with that because it's getting dark too early. But maybe we'll go back and do some recap, talk about a few things that we've talked about over the years. Yeah, I guess it is years. It has been a couple of years, so that's a badge. So, yeah, it's a good thing we skipped the magazine because I still have a ways to go. And, oh, yeah, number 1 wants to blow up a Cavaliers. But anyway, that being said, we'll go ahead and get ready to start wrapping up. I'll keep an eye on comments here for the next minute or so as we get ready to wind down. And I just polished off my water, so there's no way I could have made it through the rest of it because I've already drank that whole glass just trying to stay hydrated, getting through this much of it. So Jason says, loves what we do. Thanks. I appreciate it. You guys are your guys' support. You bring your friends in, you tell your friends about it. Some of you guys even hit me with super chats. And that's what's been great about all this is what you guys have made it. So Shopcat says 06 Cavaliers blow up themselves. I guess that's another way to look at it. So, let's see. Joe says good night. He's going to bail off. Well, I appreciate you guys all showing up tonight, bearing with me as we struggled through tonight with my voice. And I'll throw that up there again. But that's what's great about it. So it looks like we're about done. Rusty Nails, how'd you get away with no snow? We got just a little bit of snow. We got maybe an inch yesterday, but it was like 60 degrees today, so it's all gone. So fortunately, we're in pretty good shape here. And it's supposed to be decent this week, so not a big fan of of snow. That makes it hard to work in. So Shopcat says night all. And check out his latest video. I haven't seen that one either. Jason says Chad's the man. Well, I appreciate that. This isn't me. This is all you guys hanging out, making it what it is. So, all right, we'll get ready to wrap up. We'll throw that up there one more last time, and I will keep an eye on comments here for just a few more seconds. But it's one of those things. Every time, as soon as I click in, like 5 more comments pop up. So, Lee says they're calling for 18 inches tonight in New York. So I am glad I'm not there. Ken Nolan says -20 to -35 there makes it tough to work. Yeah, I would imagine so. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I'm going to go get something to drink and see if I can get this thing calmed down. We will see you Tuesday evening. Check out a couple cool things I picked up yesterday for Toy Tuesday, and we'll definitely get some World War II stuff worked into that here soon. What else? Like I said, we got those other videos coming up this week. We'll have a new one out tomorrow, and we'll do Toy Tuesday live, 7 o'clock Central Time, Tuesday evening. Got a really cool piece actually I picked up yesterday. It's a toy, so it's a super cool piece. You're gonna love that, and we'll get those other videos up later this week. So all you guys that had parts questions, give me a shout tomorrow. I can get you on my notepad and see if I've got anything that can help you out. As always, appreciate you guys swinging by, hanging out with me, making this thing what it is, making this group what it has become, and taking us up to almost 100 episodes. So that's where we're headed. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope to see you back here next Sunday night, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time for Sunday Night Live Chat. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we will see you Tuesday evening, and definitely hope to see you back here next Sunday night for Sunday Night Live Chat. So good night, everybody. Appreciate everybody's support. I'm sure there's going to be some comments I'm going to miss when I click off, but that's part of the system and part of the technology we're dealing with. But thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you next week.